Just chase. Dr. Joe Griffin. Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one today.
Yeah.
Gonna be a real good one
Dr.
today.
Joe Griffin, a
Get
speaker,
these switches
consultant,
on
and
here.
author's intention is teaching and talk is to broaden
all
their
in
vision,
here.
the things they weren't taught when they brought up as children. I introduce you to Dr. Joe Griffin. It's Dr. Joe Griffin. I introduce you to Dr. Joe Griffin, a speaker, consultant, and author's intention is teaching their talk is to broaden their vision, the things they weren't taught when they brought up as children. Reach for the top, regardless of situations, predicaments, or your conditions. He's making history all of the districts, increasing retention from teachers, 50 to 80%. They ain't all that you hear me. He is the mentor. He paved the way with his tip methodology, really. Dream, be persistent, face fears,
come on.
see change, go out.
Y'all
go
come
get
on
it.
in with
This
me
what
today.
you're learning with Dr. Joe Griffin. With Dr. Joe Griffin.
Get in here live.
Yeah. He says recognize trauma, push past the pain. If you got a problem, go look at his frame. Work your perspective and look at it change. Find a goal, set it in critical thing. Manage time, self-awareness. These are the few of the things he's trying to get you to do every day. Do every day. Led 5 schools to increase test scores with his teacher principal collaboration. Things he give to you will have you take you drive to the next level. But first, you need to get some fuel at gas station. Supporting education leaders, creating a culture for kids that'll last for ages. Lack of access to quality professional development, that's outrageous. Got his doctorate in education, leadership, research, make changes. Need to put the kids first and raise them. Need to teach them they worth, stop playing. Later on, they gon' run this nation. Dr. Joe with his dissertation taught to those who would fix, make changes. I introduce you to Dr. Joe Griffin, a speaker, consultant, and author's intentions. The teaching and talk is to broaden their vision, the things they weren't taught when they brought up as children. Reach for the top, regardless of situations, predicaments, or your conditions. He's making history all of the districts, increasing retention from teachers, 50 to 80%. They ain't know that you hear me. He is the mentor. He paved the way with his dip methodology, really. Dream, be persistent, face fears, see change, go out and go get it. This what you learning with Dr. Joe Griffin. With Dr. Joe Griffin.
Come on, y'all. Great day, leaders. Great day. Welcome. Week 42. 42 weeks of the Speaking Life in the You Leadership live stream. You're still here with me. I'm still here. It's definitely a blessing. I'm so thankful to have you all. As you're coming in, let me know where you're streaming in from. Put it in the chat. Talk to us. Let us know where you're streaming in from. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, share. We got a powerful framework that we're going to talk about today and just be able to put into the atmosphere so that we can have the very best restoration process that we need, as we know that many educators are ending their school year. We know that many other individuals who might be tuning in are just looking for to be revitalized and rejuvenated. And we definitely want to introduce our framework to you today. Continuing with Mental Health Awareness Month. May is still Mental Health Awareness Month. You see, I'm still in my green each and every week this month. Again, mental health awareness. Definitely a powerful month. Definitely a powerful message that lies within the celebrating or the recognition of that month as well, because we got to all stay mentally strong so that we can do all these other wonderful and great things that have been put on our plate, that have been put into the world just for us, just for you, just for me, just for all of us. So we just got to keep being and doing who we supposed to be, you all. And today, definitely again, sign in. Let me know. Want to start with a talk before we go into our topic for today. Of course, the 4 R's, and many of you that have been following over the first 42 weeks, you already are familiar with the 4 R's, but we're going to break them down a little bit. I'm going to even talk about how I'm applying it to volume 1 of the Speaking Life in the You Leadership live stream, as well as how you can apply it in your schools. And as always, we're going to look at some takeaways. We're going to give you some actual strategies that you can use, that you can take, that you can implement, because we're in this to win it. We're in this to be the best we can be. We're in this to bring out excellence in ourselves so that we can also bring out excellence in others and empower others to keep being great, and so that greatness can also shine. So again, that's crucial, you all. And what's the move? I just want to ask you all, because we're gonna dig into the 4-hour framework today, but before in doing so, I want to ask you, what's the move? You say, Dr. Joe, you always got these questions. You always have these questions. What's the move? And my weekly question, before even what's the move, want to check in with you and just kind of ask you, how you holding up? How you holding up? Think about that first before you even think about what's the move. But how you holding up? Because with this being Mental Health Awareness Month, you got to always keep a check on how you holding up in order to make those next moves. So just take a second there to kind of let that sink in. And how are you holding up? Feel free to chime in, but definitely think about it. I realize that a lot of people want to learn in the privacy of their own home. So think about that. How you holding up? And I'd like to know. And after you've thought about how you're holding up, you recognize where you are mentally, how you feel like moving forward. Now you got to say, what's the move? What's the move? What's the move from there? When you thinking about moving forward, naturally you always want to be in the present, because that's the only way your future ideas, future hopes, future goals can come to fruition anyway. But you also have to take an honest look backwards while still remaining present. So you got to take an honest look back in the past, still remain present in order to build toward your future. That's a whole lot going on. It's more than meets the eye, right? But in doing that, you ask yourself, what's the move? And then after you figure out what's the move for you, because after we go through these 4 hours, all this is going to come to an even brighter life for you. You're going to be like, okay, now I'm sure enough ready. But what is the move? What you going to do about continue to improve? Are you going to be stagnant? Are you happy with the year? Are you happy with your current situation? And I want to ask you a couple of things about that as we get into it. What were 3 defining moments for you? If you want to break it up in half a year, so that the people that are involved is not in education can also be a part of this, going from January to now, or you're looking at the whole entire year, but you want to look at it. 3 defining moments. Think about those 3 things that put you in a space and a place that made you feel like you were on top of your deal, top of what you're supposed to be doing in your field, right? In our field. What did the year teach you about yourself? What did it teach you about your students, your coworkers? All this is a part of figuring out what's the next move. What was a disappointing moment? What was something that could have been done better, or that did not go the way that you wanted to go? But instead of having a pity party, instead of allowing yourself to fall into a place of not being disciplined and continue to work, use it as motivation, right? Use it as motivation. So those are 3 questions as we go through this 4-hour framework. And as you're thinking about what's the move, that I definitely want you to allow to come into your head. And also, I want to share a quick poem with you all as we get into it, because we got to keep crafting through it all. Keep crafting so that we can be who best. And this is from Dream Season, Motivational Poems for the Spirit, Heart, and Soul. Keep crafting. Keep crafting. Keep making. Keep originating. Keep creating. Keep working. Keep wanting. Keep wishing. Keep crafting. Keep resurging. Keep reshaping. Keep remodeling. Keep polishing. Keep pushing. Keep preparing. Keep crafting. Keep innovating. Keep initiating. Keep imagining. Keep learning. Keep leading. Keep leveraging. Keep crafting. Keep practicing. Keep dreaming. Keep believing. Keep grasping. Keep gripping. Keep grinding. Keep crafting. Keep building. Keep visioning. Keep persisting. Keep hoping. Keep improving. Keep overcoming. Keep crafting. My craft defines me. My craft aligns me. And I keep crafting as I continue to design me. So as you continue to design you, as you continue to dig into you, think about what's the next move. Think about what's the next move. And then we're going to dive into these 4 R's so that you can definitely illustrate how you're going to do that and how you're going to pull that off. Good evening, Dr. Houston, Create and Educate. Definitely appreciate you signing in, letting us know that you are here with us. Thank you so much. So as we continue, and as you think about what's your next move, as you think about how you're going to continue to prepare to new heights for this next year, because we got to realize as educators, we working on a moving target. Every year something different, something new. There are new data sets that we have to deal with. There are new teachers that we have to train. There are new leadership philosophies sometimes that come into place because administrations change. You have your faculties that change. You have incoming students and things of that nature. So always, you got to always constantly be thinking about what's the next move. And as you think about those next moves, you want to use the 4 R's, you all. You want to use the 4 R's. I've been breaking them down all year for you, but we're going to go deeper today. And I'm going to tell you what they are: reflect, review, reframe, revitalize, right? Yeah. But you got to reflect to recognize, not regret. Ooh, wait. You have to reflect to recognize, not to have regrets. I'm going to let that sink in for you because I think about this stuff all the time because I'm embedded in it. I love it. I like to have fun when able to have fun, but this is where I'm putting more than my 10,000 hours in all the time because I believe in the power of what we do as educators and as leaders. So you reflect. You say, what's reflection? That's me taking the time to look back, to think about what has actually taken the place, right? And me reflecting without adjustment, that's reminiscing. That's just reminiscing. Reflection without adjustment, that's just reminiscing. I made a post about that the other day in my Saturday Soul Sauce, because if I reflect and I think about what I've done, where I've come, and what's going on with me right now, but I never make the adjustment, that's the missing piece to improve, to enhance. I'm just satisfied. I've been doing this the same way for years, right? So that's just me reminiscing. That's not me making the adjustment to be the best that I could be. It's not the same. So we want to reflect to recognize. And this is not to have regrets, right? Not to have regrets, but reflect to recognize. You say, wow, I have made it this far. Yeah. And you deserve it. So what are some of those defining moments, right? Think about it. That's one of those questions that we led with. As you think about it, you're reflecting on what happened well this year, what didn't go well for you this year, right? You're recognizing those things. I think about the show. I think about our professional development. We had 40, this week makes week 42, right? And we've covered conversations about equity, joy, collaboration, professional development, coaching, parental engagement, instructional strategies, SEL, mental health, so many different topics that we have covered, that we have encompassed over the year. So in my reflections, I've got to look at that. I've got to say, what were the most powerful conversations? What were those conversations that we can continue to build on, that we can continue to grow? Where did the people need more information, right? But if I don't ever take the time to go back, look at that, have that conversation with myself, how do I improve? Same thing with us in the classroom. If you taught all year, you use the same strategies that you've been using, you use those same lesson plans that you've been using for the last 14 years, or for the last 4 years, or for the last 2 years, and you never made an adjustment. You just reminisce. So for us to keep getting better, we have to realize that we're working at a moving target. We're trying to, our outcomes, we're chasing a moving target. And not only just schools, but in life. You say, what you mean? Didn't the food just go up another $2, they say, over the national average? So each year you chasing something different in life, in work, in what we do. And growth mindset allows us to be joyful in that chase. Let that sink in. That allows us to be joyful in that chase because we already know it's coming anyway. We already know nothing's going to be easy anyway. We already know that it's a battle, it's a struggle that we're supposed to endure, that we were made and born to endure, right? Because we don't get down. We don't get out feeling so bad that we don't keep going once you reach that mentality, right? So you're reflecting to recognize where you can improve, where are those things that you can do much better at. And that's what it's all about in that first step, you all. Some key words. I want to give you some key words: acknowledge, accept, appreciate. When in reflection, those are some things that you want to be able to come out of it. Because as I think about it, I can't change it. So I have to be able to appreciate and accept what has happened. Yeah, we're going deep. And we're going deep right now. Y'all getting it fresh. See, this not in the prints or in the books yet, but we about to go into it because it will be in some of those next frameworks. Y'all know I'm crazy about frameworks. So when we think about that, though, appreciate. If I'm appreciating my reflection, that's whether it's good or whether it's bad, because we have to stay focused and disciplined in it regardless. When you reach that mentality that nothing that happens to me gonna affect or throw me off, that's the joy in your heart. That's the joy in your heart. And it takes time to get there. I wasn't always there. I wasn't always able to just be able to even voice that, be able to express that. So again, understanding that this is very important for our development, right? So it's not more than just we look at a framework, we say, oh yeah, reflect. Now it's things that go into that reflection piece. So me being able to accept it, appreciate it, all that is part of me being able to look back at it. Now, some things that you can do. Y'all know I'm big on the activity part of it too, because nothing going to happen without us actually putting the action in. You can journal. You can journal, and all of the greats talk about journaling. And journaling is something that, again, I haven't been able to be able to get it done daily just yet, but I have been doing it more. I have been doing it more and more consistently. So I'm almost to the point where I'm be doing it daily. And none of us are perfect. So we always striving for that excellence. As we continue to strive for excellence in ourselves, now we're able to bring out excellence as well as to empower others. That's the constant mantra. That's the constant thing. If we're doing that, if we connecting with and empowering people, we are doing our responsibility as people. And religious wise, if you whatever religious or spirituality you belong to as well, we're designed to build off of, to do well with, and to help one another. So again, that's a big part of that reflection piece, you all. If you're with me, send me something good in the chat. You got questions, definitely. You got feelings about what we're talking about. Feel free to chime in. Feel free to chime in. I love the collaboration. I love the participation. I love the fact that you all have been here with me for 42 weeks. Say for deuce. Say boom. Yeah, say boom. Yeah, we here. We here, y'all. We ain't going nowhere. We're going to come back with volume 2 in the fall because, again, I want to be able to reflect on what we've already done. I told you when we came in August, I said, we're going to run this through the school year, and being an individual and being able to stand on your own and do what you think is right and what's good for you, you have to make those decisions. And that was one of the things that we talked about in the beginning. We're going to run it, and then we're going to be able to go back and reflect on it because I'm big on that. So as we continue to move through, I want to look at the next piece. The next piece, you all. And the next piece in that 4-hour cycle is the review. Ooh-wee. Review. Reflecting and reviewing, that's different. Sometimes we synchronize them, sometimes we synthesize them, sometimes we merge them and treat them as they are the same, but reflecting is not the same thing as reviewing. Reviewing, that's going to be a more detailed breakdown. Now we're talking about a systematic look back at our plans, our goals, those things that we work for and work toward, right? So when we review to build forward. That's a typo on there. I'm gonna change that right now, y'all. I don't like that. Review to build forward. All right. Review to build forward. So let's put that back for you. It's correct now, right? We like to do it right. Like, comment, subscribe, share, you all. Definitely, because I know we on fire today. I know these 4 R's are going to put you in a place, in a space that's going to put you in a better situation as educators. You go back after this summer break, after this summer rest, right? After this summer relaxation, you be able to come back and still be powerful. And remember, if you don't do anything, you can't grow. You can't improve. That means you're going to come back either at the same level or possibly regressed. Just being realistic. So you want to put those things in place that's going to keep you sharp, that's keep you in the mode, right? That's why we're talking about what's the move. What's the move, right? So look back at all those plans. Now we're talking about your systemic audits, your instructional audits, your cultural audits, your organizational audits. You got to look back at all of that in a review mode. See, reflection is just an overall glance, but now review, now we're breaking it down. Now we're looking at individualized procedures, practices, plans that need enhancement. And how do you do that, right? How you break that down to that point? You're looking at these class routines. You're looking at your top 10 that you have for everybody in the staff, everybody in the building, right? All that's important. We want to review this because those things that work, those things that are good for us, we want to keep pumping them in. Those things that didn't work so well, or we didn't have the necessary positive feedback that we want to look at enhancing them, or we might want to throw it out. Just kind of depends on where we are and what we're doing. So again, you review in order to build forward. You have to look back at the past, still remain present in order to build toward the future. Say boom. Yeah, that's it. That's the way we do this, you all. And it's still about remaining present. I talk about that all the time. It's still about being in the moment for your peak performance so you can be the best that you can be right then, right now, being able to step into a situation regardless of the problems. They asked me the other day on the question, how do you manage stress? Well, I used to have stress. Now I look at everything as in the moment. I look at what do I need to do right now, right? What do I need to do right now in this moment so that I can peak, so I can be in my peak performance to master the situation, to conquer the situation? Because whatever it is, it can't steal my joy. That's a mindset. That's a determination that you make within you. That's a disciplined mindset that you make and that you continue to feed into you. What you input is what you output. Remember that. And if I'm constantly feeding good, powerful information to me, that's what's going to come out. That's what's going to override. That's what's going to override every single time. All right. So when you're reviewing, you're looking at all those things that we just mentioned, those systems, the way you do walkthroughs, the way you do your feedback conversations, right? The way that you taught a unit, for instance, if you're teaching, whatever it is, all those things have to go into review in order for us to get better. If not, I'm just going to come back and recycle. I'm just going to do the same thing without any more purpose. I had purpose when I set it up. I ain't going to say that you didn't have purpose when you set it up. You had purpose when you set it up. But the purpose may have changed. You may have to repurpose because what happened, that outcome might not be fitting of the result that you actually desire. Or it could have been a better result had you been able to review it, make the adjustment, and enhance what it was that you do. Yeah. So some key words, you all, because again, I've been thinking about this framework for a minute. Some key words that go with review, revisit, reaccess, recalibrate, refocus, right? If I'm reviewing, I may have to regather information. I may have to refocus on the information, right? I'm definitely revisiting it if I'm reviewing it. So again, those are key words that go with this second part of the 4R framework: reflect, review. All right. And then number 3, you talking about reframe. You want to reframe the narrative. Ooh, we talking good. We talking good stuff right now, you all. Reframe the narrative. You say, what does that mean? Reframe the narrative. Well, if it worked, let's enhance it, because we got to make it better, right? If it didn't work, we want to either enhance it where it will work or do away with it. And that's going to be through a reflection and review that we reach the point that we decide to reframe something. So in order to reframe the narrative, I need to have gone properly through the reflection stage. And then I need to have reviewed my information. And now I'm come to the point where I can reframe the narrative. You say, what do you mean? How do I reframe the narrative? All right, so one way that you can reframe the narrative, and again, these are strategies, things to implement, things that you can do right here, right now. Identify 2 routines or 2 beliefs that you can shift, that need adjustment, that need to be changed. I used to think that I could never be great at technology, right? I used to think that I could never be great at technology. I'm still not great at technology, I'm gonna be real, but I could be. I'm a lot better, right? So you got to be able to reframe the narrative. You got to think about what it is that you want to do, and it's in your mind. You can shift those beliefs. We talk about neuroplasticity, and I love to say that word, being able to relearn, unlearn, and reshape the narrative or the learning in this instance. Right? We could have learned something wrong for many, many years. You could have been told or taught that this was the way of life. This was the overarching belief that's gonna put us all in a great afterlife, right? But then you find out it didn't work, or that's not the truth, or that was a biased point of view. You have the ability to unlearn that. You have the ability to relearn the information in a way that's going to push you to new and next heights, that's going to propel you to new and next heights. So you have to be able to reframe the narrative. Think about some feedback that you got. And it's the second one, y'all. Right? Think about some feedback that you got. You might have liked it. You might didn't like it. You might have thought that it was the best advice since sliced bread. Or you might have thought that they were just picking with you. They were just telling you something. They wanted to tell you something. But you can take that information, reframe the narrative, and use it for fuel, right? Whether it's good or bad, whether that feedback was to your liking or whether it was feedback that was not to your liking, you can turn around and use that as fuel. See, we got to reshape. We got to reframe our thinking. What the guy say, it's not about what happens. It's about how I deal with what happens, how I react to what happens, how I think about what happens to me. That's going to be the ultimate power. So if I'm reframing the narrative, I'm going to think about some things that have been said to me about my performance, about ways I can get better, or ways that, or things that did not go well, perhaps in my presentation, in my performance, in my lesson, right? In my leadership meeting, whatever it is. And I can use that for fuel. So I'm going to reframe the narrative to use it for fuel, right? So we're talking about reviewing, reflecting, reviewing, reframing. And then, of course, once you've gotten to the point where you are able to reflect, review, reframe, now you want to be able to revitalize it. Now you want to revitalize it so that you can stay fueled up. You heard the statement, you can't drink from an empty cup, right? No, you can't. Right. So you want to revitalize so that that cup remains full. So that no matter who's looking, no matter who's around, you're filled up. You're ready. You're on F instead of being on E. You leading with energy, not exhaustion. Because you control the narrative. You're always in a state of using the 4 R's to be the best that you can be. Reflect, review, reframe, and revitalize in order to stay filled up. I can't make this up, y'all. This is powerful information because we need to hear it. We need to know it. We are in charge of it. I hate to see educators drag out that dough with come May. I hate to see leaders talking about I just need a break. Well, you got to break. You can take a break, but it's not because you just got to have it. It's because you know that that's the right thing to do because you love being in that fire. You love the idea of being able to help to empower others. And you got to keep that on a positive outlook. You got to revitalize that in a way that allows you to do that to the best of your ability. Because if you tired as the leader, if you tired as the teacher, what do you think the students are going to think? What do you think the teachers are going to feel? So we got to be able to not fake it, but be in a manner in which we are truly revitalized, that we truly have the energy, that we truly ramped up, that we lit, as they say, lit, that we able to love what we do every single day, no matter what, no matter who. Revitalize so that we can stay filled up. You don't have to be on E. You ain't got to be tired just because everybody else is tired. You don't have to be tired just because it was a long school year. You don't have to be tired just because the principal said some things to you that you did not like. You don't have to be tired because the student didn't perform how you wanted to perform. You don't have to be tired because you didn't show up the way you felt like you need to show up. You got to revitalize that. You got to use that energy. I'm speaking life into you right now because I know somebody needs this word because we run around here all the time like we on this high. We always perfect, that we don't need this or we don't need that, but we need it. We need it. We need to stay filled up. We need the motivation. We need the inspiration. And we have to be able to accept those places where it's coming from because it's not that many that's gonna feed us. It's gonna help us stay fueled up. It's gonna help us stay ignited. It help us be focused in the fire, right? So again, we got to understand that. One thing I want you to do, and if you follow me on social media, you know I'm always giving some soul sauce, especially on the weekend. I like to do it on Saturday or Sunday. I do it purposefully. I do it with intention, not just throwing something out there for somebody because I want them to catch it, right? So 3 soul appointments this summer. 3 soul appointments. What you talking about, Dr. Joe? You always making something up. You always coming up here with some type of initiative, some type of skill, some type of strategy that you want us to use that you talking about can help us. Yeah. 3 soul appointments. Somebody, either an appointment with someone you looked up to in the field, someone who motivates you, someone who is parallel with you, right? Whatever it is that you need to do to feed your soul, to be able to be recharged, to be revived, to be rejuvenated, right? To be brought back to life. Because you don't want to ever lose your fire. You want to be in there swinging with intention, moving around with the bounce that you have in your heart because love sets you apart. Just letting it sink. Letting it sink because sometimes I know what we need, y'all. So 3 soul appointments. And with that, make sure it's something that's going to touch you in the soul. Right? Might be a veteran teacher or a retired teacher, but 3 soul appointments because you want to stay grounded, you want to stay rooted in your purpose. And it's got to be intention. It's got to be intentional. It's got to be something purposeful. Your fire just don't stay lit because you're in it. You be the ash in the pile. Right? It might be A professional development might be one of your soul appointments. I don't know. I actually had that for another thing that I want you to do, but 3 soul appointments that's going to help you remain purposeful in what you're doing and what you need to accomplish moving forward. In order to build forward, we have to honestly look back and still remain present. Review, reflect, review, reframe, revitalize. You don't have to be on E. In fact, you deserve to be on full. Your gas tank deserves to be on full. You deserve to walk out those doors not dragging, but happy, knowing that every single day you performed at your best. You gave your best. You empowered somebody else. You connected with someone every single day. Right? That's joy. When you know that you're helping, when you know that you're doing what you're supposed to do, that's how it is. Actually, how can you better serve? When you revitalize that spirit, you got to ask yourself, how can I better serve? How can I better empower others with what I bring to the table, with what I do? This is a key question. These are big facts, as they say, right? You got to ask yourself some key words. Renew. Revitalize, renew, rejuvenate, reignite, refuel. Yeah, I've been thinking on this, y'all. I've been thinking on these because we need that vernacular. We need those different words. We need those different approaches. We need these various frameworks. Because your framework, it might have worked for Sally, but it didn't work for John. But this framework might work for John, and it didn't work for Sally. Nothing new is under the sun. But if we are here to help, we are here to empower, I guarantee you somebody needs what you're putting out there. So quit holding all that information to yourself. I had to realize that's being selfish. Because you worried about what somebody's going to say. You worry about the fear of criticism. You worry about what your friend going to say. Oh, who you trying to outdistance this person? But really, though, that's a inferiority complex in them, because it's not like you're just going to start out making a lot of money or anything like that. You're doing what you're doing from the heart. You're doing because there are people who need you. There are people who are dependent on you. Right? Yeah. Big facts. Say boom. All of that. Okay. So realign. I like that. Revitalize. When I'm revitalized, I'm realigning to the purpose. I'm restoring. We talk about restorative this and restorative that. Restore. Revitalize. Rejuvenate. Staying anchored. Right? Doing more. Doing better. Happy. Joy. All that matters. Don't run on fumes. Run on purpose. Don't run on fumes. Run on purpose, man. Y'all quit playing. We got to do this with the love. All right. Which are you feel like you need the most help with? Let's let that sink in. Which are? Is it reflecting? Is it reviewing? Is it being able to reframe? I know that's one of the hardest part for us as a people, us as educators, us as individuals on a day-to-day, being able to reframe a situation in our head. That's the hardest thing to do. I had to purposely go on a journey to do that, to learn to do that. So it's not something that's easily happens, but being able to look at something from multiple perspectives, from not only your perspective, that takes you coming outside of yourself. That means you have to become somewhat selfless instead of self-centered in order to come out of yourself and understand from a different perspective, right? And it's okay, because from a baby, you made a crying noise and everybody came and ran to you. They did it to me too. So that's how we learn. That's how we learn to get that attention. That's how people realize what you need, right? So at the same time, we want to continue to stay grounded and stay purposeful in what we're doing. Definitely, Dr. Curtin. Reviewing what you learn, right? Reflects what you gain. Definitely appreciate it. Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that, Dr. Curtin out there in Columbia, South Carolina. Definitely appreciate my South Carolina people, you and Dr. Houston. All right. Let's continue, you all. As we get ready to kind of end up, definitely want to remind you of my particular works because I'll be away from you for a few weeks, getting ready for volume 2, you all. But if you don't have Empower Educational Communities, y'all see that big heart on that book. That's on purpose. That's purposeful because we got to do it with the love. We got to do it with the love in our heart, and that's everything we do. And we got to do it with intention, right? We talk about the DIP approach for educators. If you don't have that one, definitely pick that up too. That's a very important manual. You got step-by-step instructions on how to do different teaching strategies, different professional development pieces for staffs, as well as that teachers can use with their students. So again, don't sleep on those works, you all. Want to put up the rest of them as well, because you can definitely go to the code there and all of them should pop up, and check that in a while, but it should still pop up. Then of course you got the DIP approach for student and adult success. And with that, that's that 33 pillar SEL program. Definitely something that you want to check out, and the guidebook. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Spirit, Heart, and Soul collection of poetry. We got Home of the Blues, poem for the Spirit, Heart, and Soul. Of course, y'all know the new movie Sinners. It's about the Home of the Blues, Clarksdale as well. So that's a great tie-in. I do have some blues history as well as a lot of bluesy poems. You know, one of the reviews they talked about it being painful. There's some pain in that one. It's some pain, but it's also motivating pain. And then, of course, Christian poetry for the Spirit, Heart, and Soul. I'm a Christian. You might not be. That's okay, but I got to acknowledge, or else I won't be able to, continue to do what I'm doing. Then, of course, Dream Seeds, motivational poems for the Spirit, Heart, and Soul. I read Keep Crafting from it earlier as well. So keep crafting, y'all. Keep crafting. I just want to say, as we get ready to close out, it's been a powerful, powerful experience these first 42 weeks. Y'all, 42 weeks straight at that. Only Easter Sunday. And it's never been my goal to do something, do it for every week for the entire year, anything. As I told you before from the beginning, I'd already said that we would go through the school year. But it's definitely also a very good thing that we were able to go through the school year, because I feel like there's a lot of information given. I feel like a lot of people were blessed just from having a free informational platform that you can get information from true and tried leaders that have school turnarounds. And I'm not talking about just no one turnaround, you all. And I'm thankful for that, because it was never me. It was always through work with teams, being able to put in position where I was able to lead, and that people follow. Not me though. I'm okay with myself to know that it wasn't me, that it was God who put me in places to connect with and empower people. And I even know that from a deeper perspective now. See, like then, while you in it, you know what you're doing. But when you come back and you realize, wow, all this is intentional, all this is purposeful. Now you really see how you did it and what you're able to do, and you're ready to pass that along to other people in a way that they can get it as well. It's so fulfilling. See, I get fulfillment from coming on here each week. People think I'm on here trying to sell books. I don't make you don't make no money from books. See, that's a myth. That's a myth. Like even sometimes people that's on bestsellers, and we had 1 or 2 out, but that doesn't mean you're gonna make a lot. That doesn't mean you're making a lot of money. That just means you had the courage, you had the belief in your system, in your framework, in your product, to put it out there where people could access it. and purchase it if they want. But you're not making a lot of money off your book purchases. So again, people don't understand. This here from the heart. I called one of my counselors, and it was so disappointing. Last a couple of weeks ago, just checking on, because he's been using the different approach for student and adult success framework, and just called checking on the program, seeing how you doing. We haven't done any extra business or anything like that, but I'm calling to check on the kids and the program and make sure that the product is what you need it to be. I'm not calling trying to get work or anything, because we've already done that exchange. We've already put the product in place. So when you're doing what you're doing for genuine reasons, sometimes people don't understand it, and it's okay with that. That's okay too. You got to keep doing what you know is right. Keep believing in what you do. Keep believing in your systems. Keep believing in a higher being. Keep knowing that it's not always you. It's usually, and always in my case, it's always a higher power, and it's always other people who I work with to have those successes. So big right there, big fast, say boom. All right. Let's see, you all. Definitely appreciate the crowd engagement. You all need to find me. Want to put up my contact information. Hadn't put it up in a while, but I definitely want to put that up for you. Reach out to me. I'm on all of the social media platforms as well. We're doing some different stuff on social media. You'll see some repurposing, repackaging of some of the content, some of the information, so that people can have even greater and better access to it. That's part of the reason we're gonna settle down a little bit now and prepare for volume 2 also. Otherwise, if you need me, definitely reach out. I'll be around, ready, willing, able, hungry. Signing off, y'all. As we continue in this journey, let's continue to lead and to love with our heart. Let's continue to find wisdom so that we can work in our true purpose. And here's the big one. Let's continue to drown out fear so that we can be courageous in spite of who's looking, no matter who's watching, all the time. Dr. Joe signing off, always speaking and writing life into you. Much love, family. See you when volume 2 come back in the fall. I know you with me. Say boom.